Oh god, I can't believe it. You're just asking to die. As they leave, I notice the way Leon looks. Wow, okay. Backtrack, Emmy. Calm down. Take a breathe. As they leave, I notice the way Leon looks Ren up and down, almost as if he was sizing him up. But Jay, like always, ignores the mood and thumps Leon in the back to encourage him to walk faster. So, Leon likes me? I watch as they both throw a carefree wave over their shoulders as they both head off in the direction of the nightclub a few blocks down the street. So, that wasn't awkward at all. I turn to look at Ren, but his eyes seem to be fixated on the two retreating figures. He doesn't seem to snap out of it, so I gently call out his name again. Oh, sorry. Do you wanna head back home now? In the end, we made a quick detour at all the local locksmiths before heading back to my apartment. So, this is my place. You'll have to excuse the mess. I wasn't expecting to have anyone over. Hey, don't worry about it. I know you're not a messy person. I mean, from what I can tell, you don't really seem like the type... Yeah? Well, I hope you can keep that image of me after you see the state of my place. His soft laughter echoes down the hallway and almost drowns out the sound of my neighbors opening her door. Oh. Violet almost seems embarrassed as she jumps back behind her door, clearly not expecting someone to be around this time, but she brushes it off with a soft smile and steps outside. Hello again, Emmy. We seem to be bumping into each other a lot today, huh? Oh, who's this? How do I explain to my neighbor that Ren wasn't some guy I had just met at work today? I'm certain she chewed me out for bringing out a complete stranger, but still, he didn't exactly seem like the type to murder me in my sleep. You actually don't know that. You actually don't know that. In fact, he seemed more the type to ask me to return his order because he asked for no pickles or something. What? I'm Ren. Immediately, his large frame blocks my view as he steps in front of my neighbor and me, almost as if he wanted to put as much distance between us as possible. One of his hands shoots out from inside his pocket, and he gruffly offers it to Violet for her to shake. Concerned about his abrupt actions, I sidestepped him and looked him up to gauge his expression. I'm a friend of Emmy's. I see. I haven't seen you around before, though. Are you new to the area? Relax, V. He's not a serial killer or anything. At least, I sure hope he wasn't. And why did I feel a sudden urge to defend him? It wasn't like I could confidently say that he was some holy being that flew down from heaven or something. Maybe he was the one who needed to be called Angel instead? Ah, well, I didn't really matter. Really. Ren offered to stay at my place for the night in case that creep decides to come back. Oh, well, I mean, he certainly has the height for it. Aha, I get that a lot. But don't worry, she's safe in my hands. Well, alright then. A friend of Emmy is a friend of mine. But I have my eye on you, Mr. Totally Not Serial Killer. She whispers the next part to Ren under her breath, but clearly had the intention of letting me hear it as well. Just remember that I know what you look like now, so don't complain if you see your face plastered all over the milk carton soon enough. Well, alrighty then. Enjoy your night, and no funny business, you two. I'm off for my walk now. Toodles! Ignore her, please. Alright. Okay, but I gotta ask. Was she holding a potted plant? On a walk? Yes, she was. Dropping my keys onto the bowl, I shrug out my coat and drape it over one of the chairs near the entrance. Up, make yourself at home. Turning to Ren, I watch as he awkwardly shuffles about in the hallway, almost uncertain as if she should come inside or not. He moves to take off his shoes, and I watch in awe as he neatly stacks them next to the umbrella rack. Oh, are you the type to leave your shoes on at home? Sorry, No, you're fine. God, he really was adorable. But now that he was here, I wasn't quite sure what to do next. Usually I'd pop on a TV show or some anime while I why can't I read? Why do I get my tongue tied? While I chow down on some takeaway food, or even just talk with Moth until some unreasonable hour in the morning. But now that I have company over, I wasn't quite sure what to do. I didn't even know what Ren liked to do in his free time. Turning to face the pink-haired man once more, I almost jumped back in fright. Clearly, I wasn't expecting him to be so close to me when I was lost in thought. I could almost feel the heart radiating from his large frame and feel small puffs of air leave his nostrils as he shyly leans down to look at me. What are you doing? Oh, breathe, Emmy. Breathe. Was there anything you wanted to do, or... Because I usually just... Damn it, it was so hard to think straight when he was standing so close to me and wafting his stupidly strong scent of minted fresh linen in my direction. Why was I even so attentive to the way he smelled? Oh, I'm starting to get creepy. It's me. I'm the pervert all along. Nah, I don't really have anything I need to do. You can just go about your normal routine if you want. I'll try not to get in your way. Or you can put me in a corner somewhere and pretend I'm not here. Whatever works for you. No offense, but you take up more room than you think. So I doubt that would work. Ha! Touché. Once again, I found myself being drawn in by his soft laughter. I couldn't help but chuckle along with him. Was it always as easy talking to him? It was like we were childhood friends reminiscing about old times or something. Except, I'm the only one making it awkward. Glancing back at Ren, I notice how he's still looking at me with those expectant eyes. As he looms over me in the entryway. He obviously didn't want to do something I'd be uncomfortable with, and he couldn't really suggest anything since it wasn't his home. So, I guess the choice was up to me after all. God. Oh God. Let's just do our normal routine. Let's just watch some TV together, right? Oh then, I usually just watch TV when I get ready for bed. You want to watch something to pass some time? Sounds great to me. Once we were both seated and comfortable on the couch, I picked up the remote and decided on something to watch. There wasn't much on this time besides some B-list horror flick, and to my surprise, I found out that Ren actually liked those kind of movies. Or at least he seemed to be enjoying it, with the way he was hunched over in his seat, gazed intently staring at the screen as a hunt sequence begins. Uh-huh. But I suppose I could understand the intrigue, seeing as once I glanced back at the television, I found myself completely enraptured by the suspense and overall chilling atmosphere of it all. The killer was chasing down his victim, and I watched with bated breath as he stalked his way towards the door, cutting off the glow of light from underneath the doorframe. Almost smugly, like he knew exactly where his victim was hiding. The masked killer knocked on the door before letting himself in. He walks with heavy footsteps towards the edge of the bed before ever so slowly bending down, lifting the quilt up, raising his axe, and... Ah! It wasn't the jump scare that got me, but rather Ren's abrupt yelp. Clenching my shirt where my rapid heartbeat thumped against my chest, I spear a glance at the lanky man, fleeting anger in my eyes. Sorry, I really didn't think a cheap jump scare like that would get me. Here, I thought you enjoyed watching these kind of films. I do. I guess I wasn't paying attention at the time. See. I didn't, in fact, see. We can change the movie if you'd like. You don't have to watch it because of me. I know you prefer watching anime anyway. Nah, I don't mind watching some scary movie if you... Huh? How did you know I liked watching anime? That side of me wasn't something I'd go around telling attractive strangers. And I'd certainly remember if I told it to Ren. Oh, I saw one of your posters on the wall when we came in. Attack on Giants or something, I think? Oh, right. I forgot that I hung that up when I first moved into my apartment. But I'm surprised that he noticed it from all the way in the lounge room. But shouldn't it be dark by now in that hallway? It's not like there were any windows let on in the moonlight, and I hadn't turned the light on yet. I actually like that anime too. I recently started watching it because, well, I thought it looked interesting. He watches Attack on Giants? Well, now that I thought about it, that made a lot of sense. He definitely gave off Haruko vibes, and his oddly specific hairstyle and timid personality were proof of that. He knows that I like Haruko and is dressing up like him on purpose. Oh my god. You know what I am into? Shh, don't tell anybody this. Cosplay. Set. Then again, it really might have been a coincidence. It really might have been a coincidence after all. There was no harm in asking, right? Is that why you styled your hair like that? Because honestly, it reminds me of one of the characters from it. He's one of my favorite characters, actually. Do you know him? Haruko? He's the sorcerer who... Come on, Emmy, tone it down. This wasn't Moth you were gushing to. No one needed to see this cringy side of you. Although, looking at Ren, he did seem to be interested in what I had to say. But then again, he was probably just being nice. Maybe it is just trending haircut or something. Sorry. I like Haruko too. He's very timid and sweet, isn't he? I guess that's why he's like a fan favorite, huh? Do you normally go for guys like him? There's that switch in personality again. Was he always like this? I was beginning to think that there was more than just an act that he was putting on. He's your type, right? Actually, I get a weird sense of deja vu from his words, and I find myself thinking back to the time Moth asked me the very same question. And now that I thought about it, Ren definitely fit the description that I gave him. He had Haruko's looks and personality, but also dressed like him in that cozy, soft academia aesthetic that I liked. But my interests were ever changing and dependent on the hyperfixations, so I couldn't say for certain what my certain type was. That's actually literally me, dude. Every time I read some webtoon comic, some kind of smut or something, I fall in love with every type. I like this type. I like the puppy dog type. I like the big, large, and in charge, athletic-looking dommy type. Goths? I like everything. There's nothing I don't like. It's me, I'm the problem. As if noticing my far-off stare, Ren breaks the silence by talking once more. Oh, but you asked about my hair, right? I guess it does have something to do with Haruko, but at the same time, not really. I chose this hairstyle because of other reasons. Well, that was certainly ominous. But before I could ask, I watch as Ren subtly tries to make a yawn by turning his head to the side while covering his mouth. It was endearing how he tried to pass it off as though he was simply looking around the room, but I knew better. Tired? I can go get the bed set up if you'd like. Just give me a second to pull up the air mattress. Oh, it's fine. I don't want to be a bother. I can just sleep on the floor or something. I really don't mind. Honest. But I have timber flooring. Seriously, don't worry about it. Just be 2 seconds. I get up from my spot on the couch and make a beeline for my closet before he can respond. And yet, I barely got 3 meters away before I could hear the heavy, telltale footsteps of Ren following close behind me once more, almost like a lost puppy. It was honestly kinda cute. Shaking my head to dismiss the thoughts, I pull out the trusty air mattress from the closet and began setting it up in the lounge room. That is, until I found out that I had a massive gaping hole on the side. Those damn rats. I swear, if I had a chance to move apartments, I'd take it in a heartbeat. But until then, I'll continue to send complaint after complaint to that good-for-nothing landlord. Really, I don't mind sleeping on the floor. And, like I said, I have an uncomfortable timber flooring. Unless... Couch? You could share my bed, you could sleep on my couch. My hallway has a carpet. Maybe if I stack some blankets on the floor. This is a no-no. This is a no-no. This is a big no-no. I'm a ho. I'm a ho, Santa Claus, but this is a no-no. So I would say you could either sleep on my couch or, like, we'll stack some blankets on the floor, but I don't want him to be so uncomfortable, so I'll say couch. I'm gonna save again. Couch. Why didn't I think of that sooner? No, I just had to go embarrass myself by attempting to blow up the air mattress, only to find out that it had holes in it because of rats. I'm gonna be known as the rat girl now. I'll never be able to show my face. Yeah, couch is fine. But I really don't mind sleeping on the floor, honest. Oh, he doesn't seem fazed about the rats after all. No, it's okay. I'm the one who asked you to do this favor in the first place, so I owe you. After setting up some blankets and extra pillows in my room, I showed Ren the way to the bathroom in case he needed to go bid himself goodnight. Oh, and I bid him good night. What does that mean? It was like my feet were on autopilots as I returned to my bedroom. Silently shutting the door, I awkwardly look around my room as if I was the guest in my own house. I didn't feel awkward per se, but knowing that I had brought some complete stranger home still didn't sit right with me. But still, Ren showed no signs of wanting to murder me in my sleep, and Violet did meet him before he came inside. So maybe this wasn't too much of a bad idea after all? I somehow felt safe in his presence, and even though we had just met, I felt like I could trust Ren enough to leave him unattended in my lounge room. With that thought in mind, I slowly slipped underneath the covers of my bed sheets and eventually began to drift off. So, Ren, huh? I wonder what tomorrow will bring. Uh-oh. Oh, I don't like the making sure to save in the day one. Waking up to the sounds of burbs chirping outside and the sunlight filtering through my blinds, I groggily rubbed my eyes before absent-mindedly, staring at the ceiling for a few moments. A lot had occurred last night, and I still needed to process most of it. But the main thing that plagued my mind was the stranger I let into my apartment last night. Is he still here? Slipping out of my bed, I run my fingers through my hair to make myself look presentable before heading out into the hallway. I don't have to make it far before I catch a glimpse of the pink in my vision, and I walk out to see Ren already awake and neatly stacking his pillows and blankets away. Morning, Angel. Sleep well? I don't think anybody came by last night, but... What? Your neighbor. She's kinda loud, isn't she? Ah, Ren must have heard her gaming away on her computer at 2 AM, like usual. As if to apologize on her behalf, I offer Ren a sympathetic smile before coming to him to move the pillows back to their rightful spot. Yeah, sorry about that. I usually don't mind since I'm also awake at that time, but I forgot that you'd be able to hear Violet from here as well. Oh, it's no trouble. It was odd to hear her at first. She really doesn't give off that vibe, you know? Yeah, I get what you're saying. She isn't really the type to... Apparently Ren's stomach wanted to join the conversation. Sheepishly, he covers his mouth with his sleeve of the sweater and turns away. But now that I was close up, I could make out a faint dark circle under his eyes and immediately started to feel bad. So he was hungry and he didn't get much sleep last night. I must have been a terrible host. I tried to make up for this somehow. Sorry, I don't know why I made that noise. I'm not hungry or anything. But you're at tsundere now? Here, why don't I make us something to eat? It's okay. Don't worry about it. I wouldn't want to be a bother anyways. Actually, why don't we go out for breakfast instead? I think that cafe by the pier is open to the public now. We should check it out. A new cafe? Was he talking about the Driftwood Cafe? I wasn't even aware that it was open to the public yet. Still, taking him out for breakfast was the least I could do to show my gratitude. After all, Ren did make sure no creeps broke into my apartment again, and he did it all without expecting anything in return. Yeah, sure. Let me get dressed then. It'll just be 2 seconds. Sure, okay. Take your time. I'll just wait here. Leaving Ren unattended yet again, I quickly ducked back into my bedroom and changed out of my pajamas. Pajamas? In the end, Ren and I decided to walk to the cafe together, considering how the weather was perfect and it wasn't that far from my apartment. Turning to my side, I notice how the pink-haired man tries not so subtly side-sneak glances towards me. The arm at his side practically itches to reach out, and if I knew any better, I would have assumed he wanted to hold my hand. But instead, he simply tucks his hands into his pockets and shoots me yet another soft smile. Weather's really nice today, huh? Back to small talk, it seems. Sure is. If I had known it'd be this nice and sunny, I would have suggested spending the day at the beach instead. Yeah? Yeah, we could go for a swim. Or maybe even check out the rock pools. It's been a while since I've been there. Oh, that does sound fun. Emmy! At the sound of my name being called, I turned on my heels, only to find Leon running up to me with a sports bag full of what I assumed to be his volleyball gear. Heyo, Sunfish. Good to see you out this early. I was just on my way to the beach to meet up with Hyun and Tio. Wanna tag along? And hey, it's Ron, right? Nice to see you again, buddy. Oh, it's Ren, actually. Sunfish? Huh? Oh, yeah. Sunfish is the cheeky nickname that Leon gave me when we were kids. I don't really get it either, to be honest. So, Sunfish and Ren, was it? Sorry about that, bud. I'm not too good with names. Faces, too, sometimes. But hey, it's good to see you both again. Doing anything exciting today? If not, you can tag along with me and... Angelfish and I were about to go on a date, actually.
Oh, Ren! Hold on. Angelfish?
A date? I don't miss the way Ren suddenly pulls my arm closer to his side, nor the way that he clings onto me as if I'd suddenly disappear. You're going on dates again, Darl? Good for you. Glad to see that you're coming out of your shell again. Take good care of her for me, won't you, bud? What do you think I've been doing ever since you moved away? Huh? Like me, Leon barely seems to notice Ren's mumbling as he rests an arm over my shoulder and starts tugging at me in the direction of the beach. Ren, on the other hand, still latches onto my arm but doesn't seem to move. I can't believe my little Sunfish is out there dating in the dating scene again. I feel like a proud father. Oh please, we're basically the same age. I feel like a proud adoptive father. Leon pretends to wipe a tear away from his eyes as he leans further onto my shoulder, and it was only then that I noticed Ren wasn't following us. Turning around, I reach out to grab his hand and said to tug him along. He immediately seems to perk up at the action and entwines his fingers with mine before falling into a step.
This is dangerous.
Alright, as fun as it is to catch up with my proud adopted father who's the same age as me, which makes things kinda weird, Ren and I do need to get going. Oh yeah, of course. I didn't mean to take up so much of your time. He unhooks his arm from around my shoulder and inclines his head towards the beach one more time. But my offer still stands. If you want to catch up some more, I'll be down at the beach with... Fuck.
Fuck. I'm on my knees. I'm on my knees. I'm on my knees. I'm on my knees. I'm kneeing on... My mouth is open.
What's that by my head?
Just... Sorry. I need a second.
Okay. Shut up. Speak of the devil. Much like J. Theodore was another friend that I made at university. The tattoos, I think. I think it's the tattoos. No, is it the shirt? The V-neck? His chest? No, but Leon has one too, but it's a Hawaiian shirt. It's ugly. Is it? What is it? You know what? He kind of looks like one of the guys that I saw in my webtoon comic that I read last night. I think I'm still...
Go! Simp! Be gone!
Theodore was another friend that I made at university. But if I was being honest here, I don't think he actually enrolled in anything. He just showed up every so often to keep his attendance rate up, and to antagonize some of his students and staff. As if reading my mind, Theo practically runs into Ren and with the sole purpose of sending him tumbling into the metal railing behind him. But luckily, Ren manages to capture his footing at the last second, sending Theo and... I keep calling him Tio. Theo is Tio. An annoying scowl of his own. Ah, shit. I'm sorry about that. I'm not sure how I missed such a brightly colored child's mascot. Right, there's no need for that here. Despite Leon's tone, Tio barely pays the shorter male any mind, seemingly far more interested in Ren instead. Let me guess, you're dressed up as Benny the Buttercup? My 4-year-old cousin would love you. Oi, knock it off, mate. What's your problem? Dunno, what's yours? Oh my god. Can you talk to me like that? I could practically feel the tension between the two grow, so I decided to step in. Maybe you should introduce each other first before you start glaring at each other to death. Tio, this is Ren. He's my... well, I'm her boyfriend. Ren! Well, that was certainly one way to put it, especially without discussing it with me beforehand and asking for my input. At his words, I shoot Ren a confused glance, but the determined look on his face had me biting back my words. Okay then. Anyway, this is Tio. He's... Uh-oh. This will affect me. Uh-oh. A friend from university, he's my ex-boyfriend. Oh shit, is he my ex? Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh shit, this is really bad. Okay. I don't want him to die. So, I'm gonna say... that he's a friend from university. Ah, you consider us friends? That's real cute, doll. Don't talk to me. Are we not friends? You always used to just show up to some of my classes at university. Which was weird because I'm pretty sure we studied different things. Maybe I just wanted to see you. Oh, how uncharacteristically thoughtful of him. Or see what you were wearing underneath. Alright, you lost me. You lost me, you lost me, you lost me at that one. Never fucking mind. Yeah, you lost me at that one. Yeah. I don't care how hot you look, you lost me there. Okay, enough. Look, why don't we just drop the issue? You really need to stop trying to pick fights with everyone, mate. Ah, don't get your panties in a twist. I seriously doubt Buttercup's capable of harming a fly, let alone throw a decent punch. You can drop the nickname. Nah, but I think Dollface over here would drop you instead. Besides, the nickname is kinda cute. Matches your style pretty well, don't you think? Buttercup. I could see Ren's hand clenched into a fist as he advances towards Theo, but thankfully Leon steps in once more. Seriously, why don't we all cool it off? Yeah? I think we're getting a bit too heated. Look, we're gonna head down to the beach. I don't miss the way Leon sends Theo a sharp glare. Are you sure you don't want to join us, Emmy? I promise to make sure that Theo stays on his best behavior. Sorry, Leo, but I've already made my plans with, Ren. And I seriously doubt they'll be able to get along. You know how Theo can get. Yeah, you got a point there. Well, alright then. He leans closer to me, almost as if he didn't want the other two eavesdropping. Why are they both glaring at me like that? It's kinda, watch out. If anything happens, I'll be in the area. Just come and find me, okay? I will. Thanks, Leon. I gave his arm a soft squeeze and turned my attention back to Ren. But by the way he looks at us, I can only assume that he didn't like how close I was standing to my childhood friend. Though, that could have also been because Tio was still around. And honestly, I couldn't blame him. Regardless, I reached for his hand once more and tugged him towards the cafe, making a point of ignoring Tio's crass words as we went along. I barely noticed how Ren's mood immediately changes when my attention is back on him, and he follows along like a lost puppy. We eventually arrive at Driftwood Cafe, and the smell of fresh pastries and brewed coffee floods my senses as it wafts through the open windows. And just as I had thought, the cafe looked as if only it had recently opened, though it didn't seem busy or crowded as I anticipated. Pulling me from my thoughts, Ren ushers me to one of the empty seats before he goes off to make an order with a pleased look on his face. It was a bit strange how he didn't want to look at the menu first, but I chalked it up to him wanting to surprise me. He's barely gone for 5 minutes before he returns once more, taking a seat in front of me with a huff. A comfortable silence washes over us, as I watch as he absent-mindedly fiddles with the ends of his hair. Was he still concerned about what Tio said about his appearance earlier? Maybe it'd be a good idea to take his mind off of it. Hey, Ren. Almost immediately, he perks up with wide eyes. How do you manage to keep your hair so fluffy? It always looks so good. Aww. Cute. Ren seems to flush instantly at my words, and he sheepishly ducks his head to hide his reddening cheeks. You like it? Oh my god, yeah. I'm such a... What is wrong with me? I usually just angle a blow dryer down my chin and blast the heat, and it just stays like that afterwards. Oh, so you don't need to use any products or anything? Not really. Just when I thought I got over his timid personality, it slowly came crawling back. Was this really who he was? Ren must have taken my silence as a lack of response, seeing as he tries striking up another conversation. So, work's going good for you, huh? Finally got that promotion? Yeah, I did. I was honestly surprised when I first got my promotion, considering how I only just moved back here recently. But Eleanor has been really helpful by showing the ropes and... Wait, how did you know I got promoted? Oh, your coworker told me all about it yesterday after you left. Eleanor, right? She seems really proud of you. Anyway, what are you saying about her showing you the ropes? I barely noticed how he managed to change the conversation back to me as I recounted all the times Eleanor helped me through my first week of working at the library. It eventually reached to the point where I felt like I had been talking for hours, and it wasn't until something caught my eye until I finally stopped. How will I respond? Oh, should we flirt with him? We say, oh, look at that cute puppy. I don't want to say the goth style. Let's flirt with him. This is dangerous. I'm gonna flirt with him. You got something in your hair. Take it out. Get really close to him and take it out. Huh? At my words, Ren seems almost bashful as he sheepishly starts picking at the strands of his pink hair. But he seems to miss a small piece of fluff, no matter how many times he tugs at his roots. Here, let me. Stifling a laugh, I reach over the table and pluck out the offering item out of his hand. Sorry. His offending item out of his hair. His hen. Ren only seems to lean closer to my touch while his cheeks flush and a light shade of red, and I just pull that piece of fluff out. Order 25? Oh, that's us. Wait right here, I'll be back. Before I could get a word in, Ren was jumping out of his seat and meandering his way towards the kiosk. It really was a sight to behold, seeing Ren tower most of the other customers who were waiting in line. Even the cashier herself, who seemed to be at least 6 feet tall, had to crane her neck upwards just to look at him. But before I could blink twice, Ren was already on his way back with a large tray full of delicious food. He seats himself back in the original spot with a pleased smile and begins to lay out the dishes in front of me. Oh, this is... a chocolate croissant! The chocolate croissant! A croissant with chocolate filling sits next to my beverage, and I almost heard my stomach rumbling at the sight. I love chocolate croissants. Ugh, they're my favorite. How did Ren know this was my favorite thing to order? Granted, it wasn't like I'd been to the Driftwood Cafe before, but this was usually what I'd order at any other cafe. It was honestly like he could read my mind. And what was even more mind-boggling was that he didn't even need to look at the menu beforehand. It was just like he New. Don't forget your drink. Ren shoots me another gentle smile before placing my drink before me. No way. The drink he placed in front of me, it was... I could go for a latte. I could tell by the scent that he ordered me a nice warm latte. Just like the ones I usually bring on my way back to work sometimes. I hope this is okay. Unfortunately, this cafe doesn't really have much to offer, judging from the menu I saw online. Ah, so that's how he knew what to order. I even tried asking for napkins earlier, but I don't think they heard me. Maybe I should try again? I almost felt bad for him, but also grateful for ordering me something that I normally eat at a cafe. Ren makes sure that everything is on the table before putting the tray aside, and it was then that I noticed that what he had ordered himself. On his plate, he sat a strawberry sweet roll, along with a cup of coffee that was an alarming shade of black. He seemed to pick up on my inquisitive stare, as if the innocent tilt of his head was anything to go by. Do you want my meal instead? We can swap if you want. I don't mind. This was supposed to be a date, right? Deciding to tease him a little, I shoot Ren a sly grin. That's okay, but you could offer me a bite instead. Ren almost seems to combust on the spot, like his cheeks turn red, and he almost chokes on his own spit. He looks down at his food before glancing back at me, only to look down once more and scoop up a bite-sized piece of his food. I watch as Ren's cheeks turn a deep shade of red while he brings his fork closer to me. And not wanting to be seen as a coward, I lean in to take a bite. His eyes widen almost immediately. He seems hyper-focused on the way my mouth wraps around the fork before I lick my lips and let out a pleased hum. Why would you eat like that? You're just gonna go... Girl! It's yummy. Try some. The pink-haired man seems to have awkwardly long staring contests with his own fork before scooping yet another small piece and taking a bite. Okay, that's what he's... It's an indirect kiss. That's what he's freaking out. We're sharing our spit germs. Ren's cheeks are still scarlet red as he almost seems fidgety without his legs keeps bouncing under the table, so I decide to take pity on him and not tease him for it. With a knowing smile, I start digging into my own meal with a pleased hum. Hum hum hum. Hum hum hum. Eventually we ended up finishing our meals and decided to do a bit of window shopping to pass the time. I had nothing else to do today, and Ren seemed insistent on spending the rest of the time with me, so I agreed. We passed by a few clothing stores, ice cream stands, surfboard rentals, and many other interesting buildings, though nothing really caught my eye. Just as I thought I'd lost all hope, one store in particular catches my eye. In one of the display windows, I spotted this cute little rabbit plushie in the style of Haruko's likeness. I mean, it even came with a limited edition sorcerer outfit and everything. I couldn't believe they were selling these things here, of all places, and at such a cheap price, too. Ren seems to notice that I was not so subtly gawking at, but before we could enter the store, the cashier walks in front of the display and blocks our view. She drops a box of miscellaneous items at her feet and begins stocking the shelf next to the plushies, before she finally notices us standing by the window. I don't miss the way her eyes widen at Ren. Obviously, she's taken an immediate liking to him, and almost shamelessly pushes a strand of hair behind her ears before giving him a small wave. Girl! Sneaking a glance at the taller man beside me, I notice how Ren isn't even paying any attention to her, instead keeping himself busy by scratching at his jaw and kicking at the stray cobblestone at his feet. But the cashier seems adamant about getting Ren's attention, considering how she felt like she needed to abandon her spot by the shelf and make her way towards us. Hi there, welcome to the Seaside Trinkets. My name is Olivia. How can I help you? Oh no, we're just looking around, but thanks for the... We recently got some new beachwear merch if you're interested in checking them out. She's seriously ignoring me? Oh, you kind of look like someone I know. Have we met before? Maybe we went to the same school. Me? I don't think so. Really? I definitely would have remembered a face like yours. Actually, now that I've got a good look at you... I watch as she shamelessly takes in Ren's appearance before crossing her arms over her chest and leaning back. You kind of remind me of one of those characters from a cartoon that's been gaining a ton of traction here. Apparently, one of those locations from the show is based on Corlin Bay's main beach. Are you talking about Attack on Giant? Is that the name of it? Then yeah. I don't really know much about those cartoons, but our company recently started selling some stuff for it to entice the tourists. Do you want to come inside and take a look? Ren doesn't seem to answer the question, instead casts an inquisitive glance in my direction. It was like he was asking me for my opinion, and I can only assume that it was because he knew about my interest in anime. It was thoughtful of him to do that, but I kinda wanted to tell him that the rude worker off instead. Tell her off. Tell her fucking off! Wait, did I really want him to do that? What is wrong with me? I'm sure that the cashier just took an interest in him, and there was nothing wrong with that. It's not like we're a couple anyway. But we were supposed to be on a date right now, and Ren did declare himself as my boyfriend earlier. But I just assumed that he said that in order to get Tio off my back. Does that mean... was he feeling the same way as me? Was jealousy on his mind when we talked with Leon and Tio earlier? I wasn't sure how I felt about this new discovery. Emmy? Huh? Do you want to go look at the items? We still got a bit of time to kill. Here, why don't I show you the most recent stock? We haven't shown this to the general public yet, but I'm sure you'll love it. Without warning, Olivia, was that her name? Reaches out for Ren's arm and practically grabs him inside the store. He lets out a surprised sound before leaning back to try to grab hold of my own arm as well, but I was just out of reach. There was nothing else I could do but watch Ren helplessly get pulled into the store. It's back here in the stock rooms. Usually we don't allow customers downstairs, but you're a real hottie, so I'll let you take a sneak peek. No, actually, I'm good. Don't worry, we won't get caught. I'm sure your girlfriend won't mind if I borrow you for a bit. The wink that she sends him would have made anybody feel uncomfortable. And had Ren turned around, I would have been seen with a pissed off look. But instead, he leans in close to her face and whispers in a hushed tone that I could barely hear from a spot outside the store. If she wasn't standing there right now, I would have shoved your desperate ass down this staircase without a second thought. Right now, it's really fucking tempting. What? From their current position, it looked as though they were having a really intimate conversation, and I felt the sudden urge to look away. Why was I getting so bothered over this? I know we weren't exactly together, but Ren shouldn't be flirting with other people while on a date with somebody. I would never want to be in a relationship with somebody who wasn't considerate of my feelings, and up until now, I honestly thought Ren would have had a chance. Guess I was wrong. But still, there was this nagging voice in the back of my head that kept telling me not to give up on him so easily. Ren was the one who confidently stood his ground when Tio got a bit suggestive, so maybe I should do the same. Would he mind? Before I can stop myself, my feet begin to move on autopilot as I march towards the two of them and reach for Ren's sleeve. I gave him a hesitant tug, and I swear I could almost feel the relief wash over his body because of it. Ren's entire demeanor seems to change in that moment, and he turns towards me with a relieved smile on his soft features. I don't really have an interest in this store. Can we go somewhere else? Yeah, of course. Wait, hold on. Ren carelessly shoves Olivia's outstretched hand and gently places an arm over my shoulder instead. And just like that, he's already guiding me out of the store and back onto the busy street. I can hear Olivia sputter out a confused sound as she watches the two of us leave, and I suddenly feel guilty for causing a rift between them. Why? He was clearly uncomfortable. The fuck? No matter how many times I tried to brush it aside, I still couldn't get it out of my mind at what had just occurred earlier. What if Ren was interested in her? Granted, he probably shouldn't have blatantly flirted with her on a date with me, but he wasn't exactly the most confident guy. Would he still be able to talk to her again if things didn't work out between us? No, I shouldn't be thinking like that. Peering up to gauge his expression, I noticed how he didn't really look all that upset about leaving her. If anything, he seemed rather content to be walking down the street with his fingers entwined with mine once more. I can feel him give my hand a protective squeeze as he looked down at me with his soft blue eyes, and all my worries somehow melted away. Maybe I did make the right choice after all. I might have been selfish, but it was worth having Ren look at me with such gentle expression. Eventually, the sun starts to set behind the ocean as Ren and I continue to walk along the beach. Most of the conversation was geared towards me and my interests again, but every time I tried to learn more about Ren, he only seems to divert the conversation back to me once more. But the more I focused on this odd behavior, the more I began to pick up on his social habits as well. I learned that Ren would subtly pick up at his sleeves of his cardigan whenever he got nervous, or how he'd scratch at his jaw whenever the conversation strayed down a path he didn't feel comfortable with. His little quirks told me more about himself than the dead-end conversations that only led back to me, and I was content with knowing more about him than I did yesterday. Ren no longer feels like a stranger I had met at the library, but rather someone I could consider a friend. Except friends aren't supposed to get jealous whenever they see them flirt with other people. Jeez, what's wrong with me? I had barely been 2 days and I was already contemplating whether I truly saw Ren in a romantic light. Was I going too fast? All of these thoughts were starting to get a bit overwhelming. Angel, hello?
Girl, I feel you. I understand. But you gotta calm down. This is a bad news bear. This is a bad news bear.